Hey guys, my name is Ark, and I wanted to go over the 3.15 announcement today and some of the things that I thought were most interesting. So, to start, I definitely like the way Expedition looks. They definitely put a lot of love into this with the way that it appears. I do enjoy the League mechanic. I think finding relics, old civilization sounds pretty interesting, and one thing that stuck out to me is the secret areas in the logbooks, so I think that's going to be pretty cool. Just seeing what you can get, as well as the boss fights that they showed. It's pretty interesting, but I don't think that's the biggest thing about the League. The haggling is alright, but to me, the crafting that you can get, the incremental crafting, that looks like it's going to be pretty great for leveling up and early mapping, just getting some of the gear you need, and adding a little bit of RNG while also being able to kind of target the piece of gear you're looking for. So I thought that was pretty cool. But let's move on to the next part that I thought was pretty awesome. Some of the new skills that stuck out to me. The Absolution. That looks pretty cool. The new Sentinels for the Guardian. The Slayer's support. That looked pretty interesting. And I don't think we can not mention Eye of Winter. That's awesome. And it's been a long time coming. And with Diablo 2 Resurrected around the corner, I do like the Diablo 2 throwback skills that they're putting into the game. Eye of Winter looks amazing. I'm definitely going to make a build this league for it. After we see the numbers, who knows, maybe even a league start. But that looks great. Now, one thing I am a little worried about is some of the nerfs they did. So, one major nerf that I think everyone is really focused on right now is the flasks. Really targeting the flasks for nerfs while also taking away some of the skill that was related to flasks. Now, I know you guys are thinking that everything was just play a piano and hit the flasks as many times as you can, which in maps that was definitely the target. But for bossing, you definitely had to be pretty good at managing your flask charges through the phases, especially before you had, some of those really upper tier ends of damage and, mirror tier gear or close to mirror tier gear. So I think that's going to have a huge impact, as well as the flat amounts of damage or flat amounts of defense you're getting from Granite Flask and a Jade Flask. So that's going to really make a huge difference, I think, through the storyline. And the new flasks they showed are complete trash. So hopefully there's a few other new flasks that we get to see, and hopefully that's not all they added, because the stun one and then rarity is pretty much useless. It doesn't really serve any purpose whatsoever. Now, another nerf that I haven't really heard too many people talk about yet, but something that I thought was pretty interesting, was the triggered skills, having to pay that mana cost or just the cost in general for your triggered skills. That really is going to affect a lot of builds. Even the new support that they put in to where you trigger a skill. I think it was for the Inquisitor, the slam skill. It looks pretty cool, but if you have to pay the cost of that on top of everything else that you're already doing, it seems like that might be a bit much. It doesn't really feel like you would be able to level with that pretty easily without having, big costs on your mana, and managing mana while you're leveling up can be difficult already sometimes, and then compounding the flasks on top of that really changes the way that you go through the game. Now, another thing with the flasks is the new currencies. The new currencies are cool. I like the idea of them, but automating that is going to take away a lot from the game. So, the immunity to curses, it's a smaller nerf, but that can definitely come back and bite you if you can't spam it and you just get cursed right after you take it back off. So it's going to be a little weird. But those are some of the things that I noticed in the nerfs. The top end damage nerfs, like the 20 up to 40%, can be a little worrying, but with some of the builds we've seen lately, if it really only is hitting those really high-end damage builds. I mean, what are you really looking at? 120 million down to 85, 90 million. So, I mean, you're still going to kill everything either way. So, top-end builds will definitely be affected. But when you get to like that mid-tier, is it really going to affect only the top-tier builds is some of the questions I have, or is it going to really hit every build and make it much more of a challenge to climb through those mid-tier mapping, early red maps, high yellows, starting to fight the Conquerors more often, that first Awakener for Cyrus fight? Like, how's that really going to feel on League Start? I mean, we won't really know until we get there, but for me, that's a little bit of a worry, especially if you don't want to play something that we know is going to be, you know, a tried and true meta build. So those are some of the things that I am worried about as far as the nerfs. As we get closer to League Start, we'll definitely see more of the numbers. So that's where we're at right now, and I'll do an update as we get closer once we know a little bit more information. Ward, I don't have much to say about Ward yet, so we'll see what we get later on, but thank you guys for watching the video. Please drop a sub if you like the content on the channel, and like the video if you thought I hit a few points that you liked, and anything that I missed, drop in a comment down below, because I'd really like to know what you guys think about the new league, what things you're excited for, what things you're not so excited for, and if this league mechanic is something you enjoy as well. Thanks again, and keep on grinding.